Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our fabulous, brilliant team meeting this morning. We'll give people an opportunity to get on, and then we'll jump into this and start sharing some things and get rolling. Hope everybody is doing fantastic. We had a great Labor Day weekend. It's hard to believe that summer is in the rear view mirror. It was interesting on the weather. My brother lives in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and he had earlier in the weekend, I think it was on Monday, they had highs by 85. And then yesterday it was snowing and went to 32 degrees.
Wow.
That's how fast that cool front had came in and hit certain parts. I don't think we're going to feel it much here. A little bit lower humidity, but I'm like, oof, I want it to be cooler, but not 32 degrees cooler by any means.
Not yet, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're giving a couple more minutes for everybody to get on and get started. We usually start a little bit, so we're just sitting here having a conversation. We're gonna hide. Let me put on hold. There we go. As well as we get people coming in. All right, let me get started. I appreciate you guys joining us today. September 9th. Really what Christy and I are going to do is share some reports with you to go over some numbers as well. I've read a book and it just kind of was on just my mind this week. And a book that I've read, I'm a Maxwell fan, right? And the book is Intentional Living, right? And it's tough right now sometimes to be intentional in our lives with everything that's getting on. I don't know about you, but some days it feels like you're almost getting on a treadmill and you're moving and you're very active. At the same day, you're like, am I getting anything done? Am I actually moving the needle? Could be in your business, could be in your life, could be in key relationships. And Maxwell talks about it in just being intentional. So here's some notes that I had that I wanted to share with you of the book. And the notes go like this. He talks about a little bit, it was called elevator people, right? There's two kinds of people in our lives. And it's like an elevator, either going to bring us up or going to bring us down. And I hope you surround you with people that elevate your game and make you better. So who you hang out with matters, right? It's interesting in this business, I'll have somebody who's come to me and go, I think about changing brokerages. I know that would never enter any of your guys' minds. And yet I'm like, well, who are you going with? Well, they're going with somebody who sells less real estate than they do. And they think together they're going to just knock it out of the park. It's a baffle to me on things is, but it can be all sorts of things. Two kinds of people. They're going to bring you up or going to bring you down. Go look at the sum of people that are around you. All right, here's another thing that Maxwell tells on intentional living is that they fill their own calendar. They don't let somebody else control their calendar. You're really intentional about it. You know, Gary Keller talks about if you can win the day in the morning, he's like, you don't need to worry about winning the whole day. Worry about winning part of the day, especially in the morning with whatever key activities are. That you are the one who controls the calendar. Yet we use in bold, right? We talk about if it's not on your schedule, it doesn't exist. And it's not about selling real estate. It's about following your schedule. Maxwell says the same thing about the intentionality of your calendar. Then he also talks about the focus on the 3 R's. What is required? What will give me the greatest reward, right? That he talks about as well. And what will give me the best return? So I was coaching a leader and we were talking about as simple as I was noticing some things and patterns in our life and they didn't have somebody who cleaned the house, was in financial position to take care of it. And yet I'm like, sometimes it's not just a financial reward. It can be another type of reward and return. So the 3 R's, required, return, reward. Talks about the 2 greatest days in a person's life, if you've heard about this intentionally. The day where they're born and the day that you discovered why. When you find out what you're really passionate about and purposeful about it, great things, whatever, will occur, right? And sometimes we use real estate to be able to fund things that we're really purposeful about. keep going it here. Talks a lot about being the significance in life. Do you wake up every day and say, how am I going to add value to somebody in my life? Being intentional. And then when you go to bed, do you go, did I add value to anybody's life? Was I significant? Did it make a difference? Maxwell talks about the things that he does. I think this goes back to real estate too, right? But Maxwell, he goes every day. He reads, he thinks, he files, he asks questions, and he writes. Reads, thinks, files, asks questions, and he writes. And he does that every day of his life, 365. Now, some days he might only spend 5 minutes on each one of those, but he does it every single day. And it becomes a habit, but more importantly, it's just being very intentional. Like in our business, we have to lead generate every single day. Now, we use the word lead generate. What type of that really matters to you? There's only 3 or 4 ways that you should be really honed in on that piece. But if we do that every day, we're going to move forward. Sounds simple, yet it's pretty profound. Here's the next point he made is growth is not an automatic process, right? Talks in the book about the moment he goes, do you have a growth plan? Are you intentional about growing yourself? What are you going to read? What are you going to attend? What classes you're going to do? I know that people would keep pushing Mega Agent Camp and go, oh, this is, you should do it. And it feels the top down is. I hope that was already on your growth plan. There's so much content and learning that you're going to get out of it. For $19 it is today. That's a no-brainer, right? If you're going to get a reward. No, it's not required, but man, how are you growing yourself today? Next point, he said, it's not for me to accept my life. It's for me to take charge of my life. So keeps going back to that point of be intentional, grow yourself. It is your life, right? We hear all sorts of victim things in our society but yet it's up to us to make a difference. And then the last one is high morale is looking at each other and saying, we are making a difference. Low morale is realizing that you're not. Well, I love to be around high morale, right? When the energy is high. But when we say is, hey, how are we making a difference in people's lives? So quick little notes that I have, intentional living, Maxwell, easy read if you've not read a Maxwell book before, but some really good things about being intentional. Just keep going back to intentionality of making sure that we understand, right? The intentionality is our life has a purpose. How do we add value to people? How do we show gratitude to the people around you? And we're living in a world where it's kind of out of control a little bit, and some things are being dictated. My kids go to school. Do they not go to school? Can I go do this? Do I have to wear a mask, right? But just to show gratitude in all ways. Find people into it. This is the whole message I've been sharing all year. Call on people and check on them, right? Show that you care. Be intentional about it. Could be 5 conversations a day. All right, that was my little snippet on Maxwell. I'll stop on that piece as well. And let's go over some market numbers and reports, right? We got to be students of this game and understand what's going on. So Chris is going to jump in and share some things that she's seeing.
Yeah, thanks so much, Chad.
Sure.
So we closed out the month of August only last week. I know it doesn't seem like it was just yesterday, but it almost was. So, but we had some great numbers. You know, we had a really strong July, and it wasn't just us across the country. Keller Williams offices were seeing record-breaking all-time numbers for the month of July. So August was not as high as July, although it was very strong. We saw all-time records for August being broken. Here I have a graphic to show the language of real estate, which for everyone to understand, that's 8 different conversations. You're looking at your closed units in volume, your listings taken units in volume, your listings sold units in volume, and your contracts written units in volume. And so these are the language of real estate. It's highlighted in the MREA. These are the numbers you want to follow. Our closed units, we had 248 closings that did not include leases. When you add the leases in there, that number is much higher. Year to date, that's 1440. So month over month, we're a 5.5% increase. Year to date, you can see it's a little under 0%. What you have to remember is at the beginning of the year, once the pandemic hit, we had a lot of closings just get pushed and stalled out. And so we've come back from that already at this point. So year to date, we're looking at about the same as last year with our closed units. And then you look at our closed volume, year to date, about the same thing, 80.9 million in closed volume. That's a huge number. That's a really big number. Again, best number we've ever seen for an August month, 21% increase over last year. Now our listings taken, it tells a little bit of a different story. We're down compared to last year at the same time. And Chad, I know you and I have talked about this. We talked about this on our leadership team, just the need to continue to get listings. You know, we had our AL.
Well, an easy thing to look at it, right, if you guys are paying attention, is the significance of being down in listings taken, right? The market is the same thing, but then you look at the listings sold and they're up, right? Especially the volume, month over month, it's way up. And then for the year, remember, we were way behind on this and it's really propelling us forward. So the message is go get listings. Go convince sellers why it's the right time to sell their property. And you're going to see that more of a message in the report. So if there's one thing that you take away from this is we need more listings, you can go, yeah, Chad, that you're beating the same drum every week. No, the numbers are just glaring out there. And if you have a seller that's considering selling in the next 6 months, I would show them these numbers to tell them this is why you need to sell today. I don't know what the market will be like in 6 months. I do know what it is today.
Yeah, and we even heard on our ALC meeting this week, our top agents are experiencing some of the same challenges. The listings seem to be not as many as they normally are. So if they have buyers, they're having a hard time finding a home for these buyers.
Yeah.
Getting into multiple offer situations, especially at the 200 price range.
Well, here's another number I want you guys to listen to. You're looking at right now, we have 318 active listings as a market center. I'm not counting the pending ones. 318, which is significantly down. We usually run in the 400s. And yet, here's a number I want you to hear. 77 of those 318 have been on the market over 90 days. So still remember, it's still a tale of two markets. You're either in it or not. And we still have some properties that listed that are not in the market, right? You could call them a dud. Price and conditions still matter. Yet, if you put it in the market, we know pretty certain it's going to sell. So there's your number for that. Okay, keep going.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, so our listings sold, we saw an increase over last year, 17.7% on the units, 35.7% on the volume. Best August ever for listings sold, units and volume. And those are some big numbers, $34.8 million in listed sold volume. I mean, that's a number you need to be telling your listing clients as you're doing your presentation. You know, we sold 34.8 million in listings last month. That's a great number. Contracts written, these are the contracts that come in on the buy and sell side. It's both of them combined. It's an interesting number here, 248, which happens to be the same number of closed units. I'm going to tell a little bit why that is. So the way that our system measures contracts written is when we create a CDA, it records a contract was written. We don't have any other metric to be able to pull that number. It's relying on us pulling it in from those commission requests. And so typically what I find is if our agents wait to submit their items a week before closing, it skews this number a little bit. So I take the contracts written with a little bit of grain of salt. Even so, you know, we had the same challenge last year. So when you're looking year to year, year to date, it's still a good ratio. We're still seeing an increase of 16.4% over last year, 4.2% year to date, and the volume has increased 37.5% over last year. So still very strong numbers, even with some of the dates maybe being skewed a little bit. And then you look at that year-to-date number, and that takes care of some of that as well. $486 million in written contracts. So that's very, very strong. The other number that I get really excited about for our agents is closed GCI. That's the gross commission, $2.1 million in gross commission. That did come down a little bit from July. However, that's the best August ever that we have seen for our agents. 12.2 million since the beginning of the year. That's bringing them back to about where we were at last year, year to date at this time. So again, we saw a little bit of backwards decline back in March, but we're back up to normal when we're looking at our overall numbers. Profit share, same thing, best August ever. We shared $33,800 with our associates last month, and they should be getting those deposits in their bank account in about a week. So that's really exciting. We've seen great numbers with profit share, and when our profit share is up, it means our owner profit is up as well. So that's very good for our market center, for our ownership group, for our agents. We're able to do more with that money. Year to date, we're still coming back to where we were normally. A handful of months ago, we, to protect our market center, had to prepay some expenses. We didn't know what the next few months are going to look like. And even so, you know, from the leadership in Keller Williams, they're still advising that we want to watch expenses. And for our agents as well, you want to watch your expenses as you're looking at, you know, should you go on a big trip right now, or should you go spend a lot of money right now? They're still advising you want to watch out. Even though the real estate's going strong today, like Chad said, we don't know what's going to happen in 6 months. So she'll just be responsible and be questioning your dollars before you spend them. Are you going to get a return on this? If so, what's the expected return? Mega Camp, that's a no-brainer. That for $119, you cannot beat what you're going to get. That price does go up tomorrow to $149. So if you're thinking about Mega Camp and you've just been sitting on it, you want to get your ticket today so you don't have to pay the additional $30 tomorrow.
All right, question. Gary asked, listings taken, does that include commercial in this and any other office numbers?
I believe it does include commercial, but I don't believe it includes leases. And I hate saying believe. I just know that these metrics are pulled from our end of month numbers that we transmit to the international office, and they don't always give us a definition of everything that's included. So I always have to remind myself, but I believe it does include commercial. I don't think it includes regular leases.
Okay, that's right. All right, got another one?
Yeah, I do. So this slide is for our agents to know what our numbers are. This next slide is something that I'm going to be distributing to our agents so they can use in their listing presentations. This is to highlight the increase of office numbers from last year to this year in closed units, volume, listings sold volume, contracts written, and contracts written volume. So this is going to be plug and play. I will share it in an Excel format so that you can update the picture and the name and brand it to yourself. And then you slide it into your listing presentations and you use this as you're talking about office numbers and why they need to list with you.
Okay, good number.
Yeah.
All right, if I wanted to use this, remind me again, how do I find it?
So I'm going to post it on my KW Connect page. The easiest way, if you're not following me on KW Connect, is just send me an email and I'll give you the link to click, and then you can follow me. So every time I upload a new graphic, you're going to get an email and you're able to download it, and then you can edit it right there on your own computer. So yeah, just email me if you are not following me already. It's in KW Connect, which is on the education tab on my KW.
Okay. All right, that's all. That's all the numbers that we have for the office. Now, what I'd like to do is share some numbers that we're seeing from our local market. I'm kicking you off. Okay, hold on. Now I'd like to share some other numbers that we're seeing along the way. Hopefully I'm as smooth as you were. Hold on. Give me just a second. I got to open it up. I got several different reports, but I want to go look at basically our area and what's going on.
Well, as you're doing that, Chad, I hope our agents know that they get emailed Altos reports. I want to say, I think they come through once a week. And those are also great resources to help understand what's going on in the market nationally and in our area. They recently sent out a video talking about their prediction of inventory at the end of the year. So just with all the trends that they're seeing. Anyways, great resource.
All right, here's Fort Bend County over the last 2 years. Here's 3 different visuals to look at as we look at for sale. That's the red. We look at blue or purple is under contract and green is sold. So if you look at this over just the course, you compare it to last year and you can see our inventory and how it's really dipped. We are just at an all-time low of inventory, or all-time meaning looking back over the last couple of years. You can just see the trajectory, selling more homes ever before, and yet our inventory is getting gobbled up, and you're going to see that. And you can see, you saw that we were down on our listings taken, but even the market is even down further at over the last 2 years, over 30% of the inventory is just not there. Under contract, right, is up 65% over a 2-year span, and sold is over 11%. Now this includes what is listed on MLS in Fort Bend County for new and resale. What we're learning is we have a lot of builders right now that don't even have to put their properties on the MLS. They're not even showing up there. So this is the message that you use is when you're talking to a seller today is, why should I list my home? Why should I wait? Now, what is the other objection you're going to hear? Well, how am I going to find what I want too? And so we have to work through that and get really creative how we can find them a property at the same time if somebody's going to buy or sell, and yet interest rates are adding to this in the mix, right? We had a built up demand. Just an interesting market to say the least. This just to be able to explain this at all times, interest rate built up, what's going on. I don't know how to explain it. And yet here's the reality of our numbers. Okay, so that's just looking at Fort Bend. We'll make this active on our kwsw25.com. So if you'd like to share that, that would be available too. Now let's just go look at our, oh yeah, let's look at this one. This one blew me away as I was looking at it. When I say that, I'm getting there. This right here is our month's supply of inventory. This is all of Fort Bend. This is all price points. You can see where we typically, we've had a strong market. Last year, August of 18, we had 5.2 months of inventory, meaning that if no new properties came on the market, this is how long our current inventory would last. And we are now at 1.7 months. That's an extreme low in inventory. But yet I shared the number with you earlier where we have 75 plus properties that have been on the market more than 90 days. Meaning if you haven't sold it in 90 days, we got to be having some really good conversations, either condition or price. Because the market is spoken, especially with the inventory that we have. But if you're talking to a seller today, this would be one I'm sharing on must supply of inventory. 1.7 over 2 years, which 2 years ago, we still considered that even to be a seller's market. But the inventory story is one that we have to share. Okay, that's Fort Bend County. I'm gonna stop sharing that one. Let me get another one. So let's just look what we're seeing in active each one of the cities. What I like to do is just look at what's pending in Sugar Land, Richmond, Rosenberg, and Missouri City. So here is our preview. This is what's going on in our market with under contract. This is just looking at the last few months since of March, and you see where the impact that we had, right? Here's was under contract, just how we're moving forward. So our average is around 52. We're still above the average over the last few months. You can see even in Sugar Land, our under contract are still there. Not quite as high as July, which was truthful, but super high when it comes under contract. Let's go to another one. We're going to go, this is Richmond and Rosenberg combined. Both of those combined over the last one. So larger area, but you can see still solid when it comes to what's under contract. Still on a trend. That this wave of what's going on in our market, what we're seeing in these market, we're not seeing evidence of it stopping at the current time. And then here's Missouri City. Missouri City is a little different. I know some of our agents that sell in that area have noticed a little bit of a slowdown. They call it a slowdown. Hold on just real fast. Let me get Missouri City. And then here's Missouri City showing here what we're seeing. Seeing a little bit slower where you had previous week, you had 67 to 48. A little bit more up and down in the flow that you see in some other cities. Still a lot of new construction out in Siena that impacts more of the Missouri City, but you're still seeing a lot of activity. Just numbers to look at, right? Data does stop. So if you are interested in those, by the end of the day, we'll put those on kwsw25.com so you can have those as a resource. So let's be intentional about sharing numbers, right? That's the piece that we're in. You know, I was listening to a webinar earlier today, and it was talking about buyers and how buyers are different than they were 5 to 10 years ago. I don't know if any of you have experienced working with buyers, especially as we have these millennials who are coming in and what they look like and a little bit different. And here's what we know is they have all sorts of information at their fingertips. So they're analyzing and questioning and looking things differently, and they're not going to believe everything that you say. I think maybe 10 years ago, a real estate agent told them something and they took the word for it as buyers and they went in. So they're questioning it. And so we've got to have our data. We got to be the student of the game. We got to present the most information we can, not overwhelming them, right? We want to really simplify this so people can make the best decision. When people say, oh, I don't know about the real estate, what's going to happen in 6 to 12 months? I'm a believer in real estate. As of right now, I will go buy another home if it makes sense on the data and what it looks like. And the interest rates are still just, it's under 3 at times where you can refinance, you can buy an additional home, an investment home, and you're still at interest rates where, in my opinion, it's almost like they're giving money away. Yet my urge to you is if all of our agents could go out and have these conversations with people, present them with the right information to be able to push them forward to make a decision. Maybe sometimes the decision is, I'm not going anywhere. It's okay. But let's make sure that we get out there and have conversations along the way. If you have any questions or comments that you see in the market you'd like us to address, it'd be a great time to do it. You can put it right into the chat box or our question and answers. We'd love to hear if you guys have any thoughts on that as well. Anything that we can do to provide a little bit more information. That's just me getting to the nitty gritty. If I was out sitting at a kitchen table tomorrow, these would be reports that I would be using. Couple of them with our significance of our number at the market center. We do sell more homes than anyone else in Fort Bend County, right? So make sure you tell people that. There's an attraction to the numbers by people when they see that evidence of success. And success leaves clues. Okay. I don't have any questions or thoughts coming in before we can do it. Norman, you might about get ready to time up. I don't know if you guys have heard, but next week we have this thing called Mega Agent Camp that's coming up. And let me give you, if you haven't signed up, this is a no-brainer to me. It's going to have so much content. It's going to be so enriched with successful and strategies on how to grow a real estate business that you do not want to miss out on. It is next week. So it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If you say, oh, what does that look like? And how am I going to fit it all in? Remember, part of these can be accessible 60 days after they've already occurred. So it's not what you miss, it's what you get. Gary is working on presenting information with his interviews on things that he hasn't heard before. So I know it's going to be new. It's going to be enriched. I just don't miss out on this opportunity, and it's going to be customized. You'll be able to break in and network and do some groups it's not a Zoom meeting. It's not like this where you got to sit here and listen to Chad.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I mean, when I first started with Keller Williams, I got to go to a lot of different training. Anything by Gary Keller, I don't miss.
Yeah.
Gary Keller is so good at the way he breaks things down, and he'll look at things in some of his discussions. He'll look at numbers like we did, and you get to hear his take on it. And he is brilliant when it comes to numbers and trends and anticipating the market. So you get to listen to him talk about the market and talk with other agents about what they're doing to be successful as mega agents. So much value, even if all you get from it is listening to Gary Keller. It's totally worth it.
Okay, awesome. Also to start off, so next week is Mega Agent Camp Week. We will not have a team meeting next week, but here's some exciting things to look for in our sponsorship. On Monday, which is September 14th, from 8:30 to 9:30, we're gonna have chicken biscuits and coffee. And so meaning that in the parking lot, we'd love to see you. Yeah, we're missing out on having the energy and people coming in here. Of course, I want to get back to doing team meetings and putting 100 people in that training room. Just not going to do it right now. And yet to start off the week, we're partnering with Celebrity. They're going to provide us with chicken biscuits and coffee. Swing on by. If you're scared of getting near anybody, I'll throw it to you in your car. You say hello as you drive by. But put that on your calendar. You're going to see a lot of information that comes available, but also from 8:30 to 9:30 on Monday, which is the 14th, to kick off the week. Stop by and say hello.
Please come. We miss you so much, and we want to see you. We're going to be there as a staff, and we just, even if all you do is come and wave in your car and you don't even roll your window down, you just want to come say hello, we would love to see you.
It'll be super, you'll be safe.
Yeah, I'll hand you a cup of coffee.
That's right. With his gloves. All right, Norman, you have something you want to share with us?
Yes, it's a Twilio announcement.
Okay, go ahead.
Texted you. Please pay attention to this if you're using Twilio, because Twilio is a paid texting service that Command uses to send out text from Command, okay? Sometime tomorrow, which is Thursday, September the 10th, KW International and Twilio will disconnect everybody's current Twilio accounts in Command. So that means we have to go back into the marketplace and we have to re-sign back up. And it's going to be a little bit different, okay? Because you're not paying for like a toe tag type service now. You're going to be buying credits from them. Marty tomorrow will give us a little bit more instructions to help us go through the whole process of integrating the Twilio again. What will happen is that I get a lot of questions. How do I know I have Twilio and I'm using it? Well, number one, you have to put a credit card into Twilio to bill you. Okay. Number two is that you have to connect Twilio in your Command. Number three, you have to assign a smart plan that utilizes a text message out of smart plan. And number four, if you just go to your settings and go check in Command in your settings to see if Twilio is connected, okay? So what will happen if you do nothing, you will get a task for every unsuccessful text a smart plan was trying to send out, okay? So again, this starts tomorrow. It was only announced to us yesterday, so I got the message out to you as fast as I can. And again, it's not the end of the world if you got a few, what do we call it, tasks to do. Just send them out of your phone, okay? And then let's get you connected back up to, Twilio again. So it starts tomorrow, okay? So watch for it. The time, I'm not exactly sure because he didn't announce the time yet, but he did say that KW International has decided to disconnect the old Twilio tomorrow and let you connect the new one, okay?
Okay.
What happens if I have a Twilio account and I already have a smart plan and I don't update it tomorrow?
Well, you get a task that's created for you to text out that specific message out of your phone. So
So I keep asking this. I don't have to change. If I have a Trulia account and I have a number already, I get to keep my number?
Yes, you can. You can port your number back over.
Okay. Okay. Any questions out there for anyone that you have Norman on here as well? Okay, what other updates do they need to be aware of in technology?
We are all in command for compliance and commissions now.
Okay, tell it. Okay, so what does that mean?
That means if you want to submit for compliance, you have to have your documents in command and you have to submit it from there. And we've been doing commissions for a while already, so there hasn't been any more questions on that one.
Sure there is. You know they're still coming.
Minor questions.
Yeah.
At first it was some major questions and now it's just some minor questions.
Yeah. Okay, so if I'm using .loop inside of command and I'm ready to submit through compliance, what do I have to do?
Well, if you had started your contacts in command and you've connected the opportunity to the .loop, you can actually just assign that document back to your placeholder in command. If you didn't, the easy way to do it is just download your documents from .loop and then go find it in your command by searching your computer, and you can assign it that way too.
Okay. What happens if I don't use anything inside of command for e-signatures? Maybe I use DocuSign. Maybe I use it outside of the system. What am I going to have to do?
It's the same process. Just download them and then upload them back into. Actually, it's assigning them back in command.
Okay. So once I get the hang of this, how long would that process take?
4 minutes, 5 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
It's not very long at all.
Okay.
Yeah, one thing that's really nice about Command is it has the documents broken out by name. So you're not having to guess what's required. You look and the placeholder's there and you just upload it to the placeholder. I know in the past, some people would just upload one giant PDF document with everything. We're not doing that anymore. We're doing one document at a time in the placeholders, but it keeps it real clean, real clear, and it makes the review times actually much quicker.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And just quick note for agents that had their documents submitted in .loop before the switchover on August 31st and they were kicked back not compliant, make sure that you resubmit those in .loop to get them compliant by tomorrow. If you're not able to by tomorrow, not a big deal. Just know that you need to submit that file in command after tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Norman, anything else?
No, that's really about it.
Okay. All right. If they want additional help, what can you point them to make sure they're really up to speed on the Trulia, on commissions, to compliance? Where should they go?
They can go to the kwsw25.com.
Okay.
The videos are in there. I'm going to get some compliance videos up in there too. The commission videos are already up in there. They can email me. I have a link that I put in my Google Drive that has all those videos and cheat sheets in there too.
Okay.
And then
Yeah,
on Thursday,
So many resources. Norman's done a good job of getting videos together, and Amesh has done videos. There's so much for our agents that feel like they need a starting place and they don't even know where to go. I want to say Norman's done a good job of getting those resources. Just email him and he'll send them to you.
and I want to congratulate your agents out there too. They really, came to the classes. They came again and again. I had the Q&As and they came to the Q&As just to watch other people's questions, and then y'all really done a really good job. There's very minor questions. Some of y'all agents out there might have had some major questions, but that all in all, the percentage wise, y'all did a really good job, guys.
Okay. Sapna, this one's for you because she asked on the slide of this is all of Fort Bend County, right? And part of this goes into Katy as well. And this is based on, hey, do we sell more homes than anyone else, right? Remember, the percentages aren't a whole grand scheme of things of selling it over a 12 months, but we'll also make that one active as well.
Wow.
And yet, there's a lot of opportunity to grow and to really move forward as we go on a little bit. All right, hang on. Don't leave us yet. Right? Another repeat. I think they say radio announcers, what makes them well is they continue to repeat things in case people are joining in and not doing it. Mega Agent Camp is next week. We're going to kick the week off on Monday with the chicken biscuit at 8:30 to 9:30. Just come into the parking lot, hang out. You can gather, you can leave, do whatever you want. We just want to say hello, kick off the week really strong. And then starting Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is Mega Agent Camp online this year. It's not a Zoom call. The platform is fantastic. The content is rich. It's going to be really condensed. You can go back and watch it up to 60 days. Keller Williams has really made an attempt. I just can tell you, nobody else in our industry is going to be able to touch the content, the learning, the strategies, hearing from top people, success leaves clues. Do not miss that as an opportunity. If you have a guest, meaning if you know a producing agent and you would like for them to attend, let them know, either Barbara, Keith, or myself, and we'll connect with them and we'll see if we can get them included as well. Remember, it's one thing to talk about profit share, it's another to receive some profit share. And the easiest way to grow your profit share and connect people to Keller Williams is through an event. So if it's good enough for you, invite somebody else as well to it. It's another fantastic opportunity.
We forgot to mention, some of the guest speakers were announced from Facebook and Google, some big names, directors. So anyways, it's going to be very good content.
Okay, awesome. All right, we got Dale in here today. He got his camera to work, so I don't even have to get out of my seat. All he has to do is hit unmute.
Yes, sir.
All right. Tell us what's going on in the financial world of real estate.
Well, rates are starting to trickle up just a little bit as we see the stock market go up. A lot of unrest, big highs and big lows in the market right now. The tech sector took a real big increase in the stocks. A couple of stock splits caused the market to go crazy, and then a big correction yesterday, and interest rates moved up a little bit. They have kind of come back, still in the range of about 2.75, 2.875 for a 30-year fixed rate with perfect credit. I saw a report that came out just yesterday through a kind of a national company that reports information going on in the real estate world and the mortgage industry, says that of all applications for mortgages right now, 61% of the applications are refinance business.
Wow.
What does that mean to you as an agent? It means that a lot of the capacity that the title companies and appraisers and surveyors and lenders have is all driven right now. More than 50% of what's going on is all on refinance business. And so I only point that out so that you as an agent working on purchase business set some realistic expectations for your buyers, for the sellers of homes that obviously would love to get out of the house as fast as possible. But the market just dictates that it may not happen as fast as they want it to. So stay in touch with your buyers, with the sellers, get with title companies and get some realistic closing times for everyone. One of a big agent is still trying to push for 30-day closes. And in a market where it's taken 2.5 to 3 weeks to get an appraisal back, that may be difficult. If the appraisal doesn't make value, then we may have a bigger process to worry about.
Okay. Anything else that's important? Any questions for Dale?
One thing to consider right now, the July 15th deadline with tax returns being filed, if they file extensions, they will go until the October 15th. One very important thing, though, for people that are self-employed, if they filed an extension, it does not mean that your money was not due on that July 15th deadline. So lenders are going to require that there is proof that the IRS was paid. They're real slow to process the transaction, but they take that money out of your bank account instantly. So I just want to let you know that that is one of the requirements. If money was owed in taxes, we have to have proof that it's paid, or the loan won't continue forward with closing.
Very good. Good information. All right, what's going on in the world of title?
So hi everybody, how are you? I'm sorry, I had a minute where I forgot that I had earphones on. I'm in the office today. Actually, last week we actually had something that was pretty exciting. I actually had to write down the acronyms because I know TLTA very well, but the other acronym that's being used is Texas Department of Savings and Mortgage. That's in Dale's world. So last week, we've been working over a year on trying to get an amendment to one of the forms that we use in order to ask for payoffs, meaning escrow, working with, so that would be TLTA, Texas Land and Title Association, working with the TDSML to try to revise that so that we can have more accurate information given to us. And as of the 21st of August, it was approved. Now we're going to implement that before the end of the year. But one of the forms we'll do, it will give us an option as an escrow officer to put loan number and then original loan number. So I know that sounds very simple. It doesn't sound very exciting, but as an escrow officer, it's extremely exciting to be able to know what was the original loan, and maybe if there's been loans taken after that, what those numbers are and what the numbers that are with those for the payoff reason. So that was just passed August 21st. I'm very excited to say that. And that should help all of you with your loan officers and getting that information back and making sure that we're giving accurate information at the time of closing and when you get your CDs. So that's something that just happened last week and we haven't spoken since then. So I'm really excited to announce that. Like I said, it should be implemented before the end of the year. It passed as of the 21st of August. So we have that going on. We have a social media class today. So if you haven't joined social media, if you don't know anything about it, give us an opportunity to help share some information with you. Celebrity Title has a lot of sales reps that are very good at social media. If you haven't started following us, you should, because they're very good at making sure they connect with their clients. And that's always something too that's at this time very important. You know, face-to-face interaction isn't happening as much as we would like, but that social media bug is definitely in everyone. And I know Command does something with social media. They do ads with social media. So you might learn something else outside of what Keller Williams can offer you. I know Command is an amazing program and they do all kinds of great things, but we might be able to help you with a little bit more that are something different. So just give us a chance. That's all I have.
Okay, and you're going to be helping us with the chicken biscuits.
A couple of other things. I'm sorry. Yeah, we are helping you with Mega Camp. We're helping you with the chicken biscuits. We have rescheduled the headshots. If you haven't had a headshot recently in the last couple of years, you might want to consider getting a new one. We have a wonderful photographer coming in on the 25th, and that's going to be in your house. So it's going to be in your conference room upstairs, your training room. So that way you guys all know where it is. But I would definitely ask that you sign up for that. And what else do we have? I'm excited about the chicken biscuits. I can't eat them, but I like to share the love. So that's exciting.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Reliance not on today. Just remember to connect with her. That's an easy closing opportunity for you, especially when it comes to electricity and rates. They've been very competitive as you move forward. Got the headshots next week as well. All right. Here's the last piece. I was told in my ALC meeting that sometimes my meetings are boring. That's not exactly how it came out. And yet, if there's a topic or something that you would like to see during this team meeting, virtual learning space that you're in, please send us a message. You can type it in the chat. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I've done this long enough that my feelings don't work anyway. And just know that us as the staff, we're working on hard and providing you value and connecting with you. The chicken biscuits is we do miss having the energy and people in as well. And yet we want to make sure we're at the forefront of content and delivering you guys strategies and things that you need to really thrive in this upcoming market. Go get listings, right? And you're like, no kidding, Chad. We get it. Is that inventory piece is really a struggle right now. We do need more listings to sell. We have sometimes active buyers who cannot find the home that they're looking for. Take advantage of the interest rates, right? Yeah, there might be a little bit of delay, but you should be wearing Dale out with all your clients refinancing and or purchases and or investment opportunities as well. And then you can always close them downstairs because it's very convenient and you can come see us. Okay, Krista, Norman, anything that I missed?
No?
Okay, awesome. Well, proud to be in business with you guys. If there's anything we can do to help, don't hesitate to reach out as well. The team here is ready to serve you guys. And don't forget Mega Agent Camp. See you next week in the parking lot. You can drive by fast or you can get out and say hello. We'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon.